Okay, that's brilliant for the last map.
That's my initial role.
Where are you?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Respected elders, my colleagues standing for the council, brothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for gathering in such big numbers on such an inclement afternoon and for waiting while we gathered in such numbers. I appreciate it very much indeed. I'm not going to speak for long. I'm just going to sketch out where I think we are, and it's a very good place. We're facing the certainty, now certainty, of a hung parliament, which doesn't mean we're going to hang the members of parliament, although some of them deserve to be hanged, no doubt. It means that nobody is going to win a majority in this parliament. And moreover, given the change of the law, this parliament is going to last 5 years. There can be no early elections. It's a fixed term. That means we're facing a parliament where every speech matters, every debate matters, every argument matters, and every negotiation matters. And if I'm elected here on Thursday, inshallah, Ed Miliband will be on the telephone to me next weekend. I assure you of that. And of course, he's the only person I can put into Downing Street. I can't put David Cameron into Downing Street. I wouldn't dream of it. But neither will I put Ed Miliband into Downing Street unless he does the deal with us on our 6 demands. We have 6 points that he will have to satisfy us on if he wants my vote to put him into Downing Street. Those 6 points, in brief, are action on Bradford schools, the second worst schools in the country, second bottom of the National League, in a city where half of the people are going to be under 25 by 2020. Imagine, the youngest city in Europe, whose schools are second bottom of the National League. So what should have been a blessing becomes the reverse. It's called the Bradford Challenge. We hire the people who did the London Challenge, who transformed Tower Hamlets schools, who are 15th from the top of the league, whilst we're second from the bottom. It's not rocket science. Imran Hussain is supporting it in Bradford East, and between the two of us, if he's elected and I'm elected, we'll deliver it. And that'll begin the transformation of the school system here in Bradford. There'll be a few heads need to roll. Ralph Berry for a start. Sorry, Adrian, I know he's a pal of yours of long standing. But if you're the manager of a team that's second bottom of the league, you get the sack if you don't have the grace to resign. But nobody ever gets the sack in Bradford until the people give them the sack. The second demand is the immediate relocation of a government department from London to Bradford. They've done it in Swansea, they've done it in Belfast, they've done it in Edinburgh and in Glasgow, and now they need to do it for Bradford. We need an immediate shot in the arm. And I've even identified TJ Hughes, the department store, 43,000 square metres, with the room for a causeway across the road into the Thomas Cook building, perfect for the passport office or the immigration office to come to Bradford, providing a huge number of jobs. Third demand is the scrapping of the £18,600 limit that the state has arbitrarily put only on you. A Slovakian can come to Bradford with his wife, or 10 wives, 20 wives, And they don't need to speak English, and they don't need to show any level of income. This is discrimination against you and against poor people, against workers. Because 18,600 might be achievable in London, but it's a lot of money in Bradford, especially if you've got to prove it on your bank statement, on your tax records, and with a letter from your employer that he is paying you £18,600. And he's got to prove it as well. And given the pattern of employment, small business, self-employment and so on in Bradford, that's not easy to do. The fourth demand is for a government inquiry into the levels of car insurance in Bradford, which I've been trying to get for 3 years. Couldn't get it when the Tories had a big majority, but in a hung parliament, where every day the Labour chief whip will be asking me, you going to support us tonight at the vote at 10 o'clock? I'll say, well, how am I doing on my 6 demands? If I'm not doing well on my 6 demands, you can't count on my vote. And you might lose. And the fifth demand is for the high-speed rail link, which is going to Birmingham immediately, to keep on building all the way to Leeds, and a proper cross-rail service from Manchester to Bradford with one station, one through station in Bradford. I apologise to the cab drivers here, it might cut down on a few fares, but Bradford needs one through station. And the sixth demand is the only one that isn't to do with Bradford. If Miliband calls me next weekend and asks me for my vote, I'll say, yes, here are our demands. And the sixth of them is for the immediate British government recognition of the state of Palestine. I think that will be widely supported in Bradford. It would be the Bradford Declaration. It would be historic. We've had the Balfour Declaration that caused all this disaster. Now let's have the Bradford Declaration that brings about the recognition of the state of Palestine. Now I'm standing against a very weak Labour candidate. Anyone that saw the Boma Channel debate the other night and decides to vote for her rather than me needs their head examined. We've got to make sure everybody sees that debate. The brothers have just been watching it there on the screen. It's everywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Please make sure everybody sees it, because trust me, nobody who sees it could possibly conclude that she's the person for you as your MP. And apart from all the obvious, I'm going to be demanding Ed Miliband does things for Bradford. She's going to be taking orders from Ed Miliband. She won't be demanding anything. He'll be demanding from her a loyal support as a Labour MP every night in the division lobby. So it doesn't make any sense, actually, to elect her. It's the squeaky wheel that gets the oil, not the wheel that's running smooth and silently. But there's no point in just electing me. We need to elect councillors to change the pattern of local government here in Bradford. We have a very bad council in Bradford. And we now, right at this moment, we have the balance of power in Bradford City Council. We have 5 councillors right now, at least until Thursday. And we need more. And we need Shiraz Hussain elected as the councillor in the Toller ward. He's a revelation to me. I didn't know him just a few months ago. But everywhere I see him, every time I meet him, I'm more and more convinced that he's exactly the big, strong man that the Toller ward needs as the councillor here. We need Mohammed Salis. Where is he? We need Mohammed Salis. My goodness, both of them, they're looking like cabinet ministers. Never mind councillors. Mohammed Salis, a man with a long record. I don't mean that kind of record. I mean a long record of community work in Manningham from the first disturbances until now. A negotiator, a conciliator, a man that can cross borders and boundaries, a man that can appeal to all communities. We need Sharik Mahmood elected in the city ward as councillor there. A young man, dynamic, in the music business, trendy, handsome, all the things that you can see, obviously. Elected. We need Adrian Longthorn, who's my fellow fedora cap wearer. Somebody asked me in there, is it mandatory for respect people to wear black hats or just the ones that are not Pakistanis? Adrian might be a white man, but he's got a black heart. He was Marsha Singh's office manager for 15 years, and he's already been elected 3 times in Clayton and Fairweather Green as a Labour councillor, and he's putting all that experience and all those contacts to work in pulling off a shock result in that ward where Labour thought that they could skate it until Adrian came over from the Labour Party back home to real Labour, which is what respect is. And Rob Hoveman, who's not here because he's out working in Thornton and Ullerton, where again he's fighting a magnificent campaign and getting real support from all different communities. So you need to elect these councillors so that we can take 5 seats off them, and if we take 5 seats on them and we win those 5 seats, that changes the balance dramatically, and we'll then have a firm grip of the balance of power in Bradford City Council, which means that nothing bad that they bring forward will be able to pass. And I said to you, we're in a good place. If they hold the balance of power in the City Council, and I hold the balance of power at Westminster, well, we've knocked it off. This will be the city of gold. There'll be paving. And all of this is achievable with your support, inshallah. I need you to vote for us. I need you to get all your neighbours, all your family, men and women, young and old, out voting next Thursday. The polls open at 7 in the morning and they close at 10 at night. The postal votes are flooding in. There are still some that haven't been yet posted. If you know of someone, please talk to them and persuade them that they should be supporting us. But if you don't have a postal vote, you need to get out and vote. And everyone in your house needs to get out and vote. Thanks very much for coming here today. My friends will speak to you now. Wassalamu alaikum. Thank you.